Hey y'all, guess what? We are here at Dollywood. Hope y'all can see behind us. But now, we're not here for a regular park day. No, we are getting behind the scenes look at what they're doing to get ready for Christmas. Smoky Mountain Christmas is always such a great event here at Dollywood. And we get to go behind the scenes this morning, check out what they're doing, putting up the lights, getting everything ready. Yeah, I know it's like August, early September, but hey, when you're putting up this many lights, it takes a while. So you can't just wait to the day before, you gotta get it done earlier. So let's go inside, take a look, see what's going on. But before we do, hey, if you don't mind, please consider subscribing, hit that thumbs up, ring that bell notification, and all that good stuff. Leave us a comment down below also. And with all that said, now you know we're Dollywood Insiders. I promised you we'd take you behind the scenes and show you some stuff. Well, let's get inside and do that right now.
So, for those of you who aren't aware, we are the 12-time winner of the Golden Ticket, which is kind of like our industry's Emmy or Grammy, Oscar. We're the 12-time winner and the only park in the world to ever win Best Christmas Event. And there's a lot of work that goes into that. I have nothing to do with that. None of the people in the red shirts do. It's the folks like Dalton in the blue shirt over here that have everything to do with that. So we're going to go in today and check out his crew and what they're doing today. They're going to be up on some lifts I think we've got going on, so we'll let you get video of all of that. Dalton also has one of his crews. They hadn't quite gotten to this point yet, but they are going to be starting to line some buildings so we can walk you through that process of how much detail goes into that part of the process. That's really good video and really fun to watch them do.
Now you remember I said the park is closed? It's amazing to walk through a park when it's closed. Turn you around. No crowds, no music playing, just Rock and Sandy, some insiders, some other media.
Since we've been involved for 15 years, it's changed a little bit over the years. It started one way and some things have changed. But essentially what we're doing is taking all of our buildings, almost all of them, and we're outlining the buildings with different color lights. Sometimes 2 or 3 light colors on the same building. And so when you have, for example, behind me here, you've got doorways, and you see the white boards around the doors. Those are all going to get lights put on them. And the corners of the buildings, and sometimes we even do the siding on the buildings. This way or this way. So the idea is we want to show different areas of the park in different colors, different patterns. The patterning is pretty much the same. You'll learn from the experience how to do it. And we change, some of it's just kind of, we just kind of freelance it. We might change it from one building to another. But essentially the idea is to cover as much of the building as we can, to outline it and show the colors and things. And when you put it all together in one, this show street especially, this is the premier area of the park, is the most beautiful area, I think, of the park once it's done. The Palace Theater over there behind you must have, I don't know how many, don't ask me how many lights because I don't know. I mean, we have numbers, but we don't, I'm sure we don't know that they're exactly the same. And somebody, you might think some, and I might think some. We don't count them, is what I'm trying to say.
All the planning is done though behind the scenes by the people higher up than us, much higher up than us, telling us the colors and the patterns and all that.
The park chooses the colors and what they want on each building, and then we basically take the colors and we put them on the buildings and what we feel is the proper way to do it. The input on the colors, though, is not something we decide. That's done by other people at Dollywood.
And Dalton and Diane will be able to tell them.
Right, they can explain to you how the color selections are made.
If I'm hanging my Christmas lights at home, what's your #1 piece of advice?
If you're hanging your Christmas lights at home, hire somebody else.
There's always usually a funny answer.
Yeah, well, you get Clark Griswold or somebody to come out and do it. We've been doing, well, Carol's not as much into hanging the lights anymore as I am, but 15 years and we've got a core of people that have been here a long time. And we all learned a certain way, but we've evolved into doing it different ways.
The hardest part for me, because I don't want to be sexist, but men handle electricity more and know about power and all that. When I started was finding the power and knowing where the power was and climbing around looking for power and knowing all about that. That was more difficult.
One thing all of you, there's a lot lot of young people here that probably won't understand what I'm saying, but all of us remember that most Christmas lights way back in the day were these big bulbs. We still use a few of those, by the way, but not very many.
Here's what's going in the park now.
But these lights,
and they're all LEDs.
LED lights. We don't use incandescent lights any longer. We did for a long time. But these lights, LED lights, of course, is what you're using around your homes, and probably for anything you buy now is LED. But these lights you can put an infinite number of these together in a long string. I mean, we can take these 50 light strands and put 20 or 30 strands together in one continuous line, as long as we, from a power source. Incandescent lights, we probably couldn't do 1/10 that many because they get hot. These lights will burn, they don't get hot, and they consume very little power. So it's good to know because we have millions and millions of lights, so you're not using nearly as much power with these. But we buy them months and months in advance to get them here on time. I don't buy them, but the park does.
And Dalton and Diane will tell more about that.
Yeah, I won't get. So anyway, as far as hanging the lights, what we would do is we would start with a power source, and we're not going to do that right now because for the sake of demonstration, I don't know where the power source. We have to go find one on this building. But we're basically going to start from a power source, get to a common point of starting. Sometimes we'll use extension cords to get from the power source to where we want to start, because otherwise the other thing is we can't have lights showing in places we don't want them to be. What we do is when we install the lights, we try to get the bulb to be flat against the wood. We don't want the lights sticking straight out or going sideways or other, and we try to keep straight lines. Talk to them a little
These
bit.
are called happy lights. If you have a light like that, we need to twist the wire in order to get it flat.
You have to twist the wire to get the light flat on the wood. And then we usually put down one staple between each of these two lights. People still don't know that a lot of times. How many staples? Well, thousands. If we were going from here over to here, this section right there, we don't want that bulb to show. We don't want any lighting right in here. So we might have a space that takes 15 or 20 lights we don't want to show. So we basically take a little plastic cap and we slide it on the bulb. Here, hold this.
See how we say please? Thank you.
And then we just take some white electrical tape because we're using white wire. And we wrap it around the bulb and tape it to the wire like this. Did y'all see that? That's what it looks like if I don't want to see the lights. If I don't want to see those two lights, that's what it looks like. He's having a hard time with that angle. Being tall has its advantages sometimes. You know, I would rather be you if I was down there.
Start planning, and Dalton will tell you this, they'll start planning during this year's Christmas festival for next year's Christmas festival. So once we get through that, they'll begin ordering the lights and doing all of that. So we've had the lights on hand for quite some time because they have to plan so far ahead. And sometimes they'll alternate the colors that are on certain buildings so that the park has a little bit different look each season. So if you're a guest, Front Porch Cafe in 2019 may look different than it did in 2020 and the way it will look in 2021, just to keep things fresh.
Even the ducks want to get on and hang their Christmas lights.
Turn them on during the off days as they're checking. And when the park's open, they're not going to be on.
little behind the scenes stuff.
Look at these types of lights that literally grow with the trees and our large signature trees that we have.
All right, y'all, we're here with Dalton. He is the special events supervisor. How you doing today?
I'm good, I'm good. We're
Good.
just hanging up some Christmas lights.
Oh yeah, it's kind of hot, but hey, we gotta get Christmas started, don't
That's
we?
right, that's right.
Couple questions.
Hit me.
The lights that we're seeing put up now, will any of them be used for pumpkin illuminates?
Yeah, we try to get creative with that. If we can save ourselves a little bit of time here and there, we will for sure. So a lot of these lights are programmable. They have a different app that runs behind them, or we have a remote that can change those lights. We even have some uplighting on buildings. So during harvest or Great Pumpkin Illuminates, we might put it in an orange or a pumpkin kind of tone, or purple, kind of change it up that way. And then as soon as we go into our Smoky Mountain Christmas Festival, we'll move it to cool blues or icy tones, whatever that feel of that area is. And that's just as easy as a flick of a switch or a plug-in of a different set of lights, so yeah.
Okay, well speaking of that, how change things up, do you ever see something you like, well I don't really like that, and you change it up at the last moment?
We have had to call a couple audibles here and there. So say maybe we've changed the look of a building from one year to the next, maybe added a door that didn't used to be there for guest flow, and that says, well, that changes up our lighting installation pattern. What does that look like? And so we'll have to kind of revisit those areas as soon as we get to installation and say, all right, what can we apply from other buildings to this one and change it up, or what will work for this area. And that could be, again, just ordering a different kind of light or ordering more lights. So we kind of have to change it up from year to year.
Now the lights are used from year to year?
Correct. So we have a pretty large stockpile of lights in our arsenal that we can put out on park, but we try to get the most out of our equipment that we have. So we will use those lights until they run out, but as soon as the Christmas festival is over, we do take those down and we'll check inventory and we'll make a count of what we need to order for next year. Yeah.
Speaking of taking them down, are you already in plans for what you're going to do the next year?
Correct, yes. So we are talking about what could happen next year, you know, what maybe could go up in this area or what might be on the timeline for next Christmas. So we are talking about that because we're always wanting to improve and get bigger and better for Christmas here at Dollywood. So make sure to visit from season to season because something's going to be new.
We're not skipping harvest. The pumpkins will be here. Great Pumpkin Illuminates, our harvest, our crafters, they will all still be here. And we're looking forward to that, seeing the leaves change colors and just having a beautiful time here at Dollywood for harvest. We have thousands and thousands of hours put in for labor, whether that's receiving our shipments of lighting, ordering, inventory, organizing all of that, de-tagging every strand of light that comes in. That's a lot of work too, getting it ready for the installation part. And then we have thousands of labor hours put in for, you know, installing them actually onto the buildings or in the displays. And so we have to constantly do that. We are looking at right now about a 4 to 5 day operation 24/7. So we have a day crew that comes in and they work early in the morning before it gets too hot, since we are in the middle of summer putting up Christmas lights. So they come in the morning and they'll knock out as much as they can. And then we have a evening crew that comes through and they're doing a lot of up high lift work. And they will do a lot of work overnight until about 3, 4 a.m. And then that next shift comes through and it just restarts and the whole series kind of starts again. We have about 15 hosts that support lighting throughout the entire year. And at any given time, you have about 5 or 6 hosts on park on any given day working on lighting in some aspect. We started really doing Christmas big back in 1990 and kind of moving forward from there. And we started getting that recognition, and it's transformed and changed a little bit every now and then, but it's always been great. And now here we are in 2021 and still doing Christmas big, and looking towards the future, we're going to be doing even more big things. So that's really exciting. So we have over 5 million lights here at Dollywood, depending on which one's off or on. And then we have over 100 miles of Christmas lights. So if you lined up all the strands of Christmas lights that we put up on park or in our Christmas trees, we have over 100 miles, which is really neat fact. We go through hundreds of rolls of electrical tape and different staples, thousands and thousands of staples that we have to go through. But it's all for a good purpose, and it's all good for a good display that we put on for Christmas. We have lots of different zones for our Christmas festival. So as you're in one area of the park, it might be a lot more color and kind of unique designs to each building. There might be a splash of purple here, a big part of red over here, and yellow in this corner. But then as you move into more kind of traditional areas of the park, you might get into more warm lighting or that candlelit feeling. And so we try to transport people from area to area as we move through the different zones of the park, just to kind of keep it fresh and new, and that's really exciting. So you'll see different types of light systems throughout the park as well. So we have a lot to do for Christmas. We have tons and tons and millions of Christmas lights to put up, whether it's on buildings, on our Christmas trees, overhead. They are everywhere, and we've been working on that since late May, early June. So even right before the summer festival started, we are here putting up Christmas lights. Harvest is super exciting. We have nearly 14,000 pumpkins on park, and to switch from our Harvest Festival into our Christmas season, we have about 6 days to do that. So as soon as we close for that harvest season, we are on park, hitting the ground running, taking all of those pumpkins out and moving in thousands of Christmas trees and more light displays and all of Glacier Ridge area, the big pixel pine and all of that. So we have about 6 days to do that. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of time put in, but it's worth it. It's really fun, and it's kind of neat. There's a little bit of magic there to see everything switch from harvest to Christmas so quick. It's kind of cool. We are the only park that's won the Golden Ticket Award for our Christmas festival, and so we're really, really proud of that achievement, to just be able to hold that recognition and say, you know, Dollywood's been doing Christmas, and we've been doing it the best ever since. So yeah, that's really awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Yeah, thank you.
I don't know about y'all, but I now am ready for Christmas. It's hot, but I'm ready for Christmas. What about y'all?
Yeah.
I'm definitely ready.
Bring on the cooler weather.
Cooler weather. Got some Christmas lights already. Tell you what, I am so ready for Christmas now. Seeing them put these things up and nowhere near ready. They got millions still to put up. What y'all think?
It was cool to see the tips and tricks on how you could actually, if you watch this video, do it at home.
Yeah, that's why I'm like thinking through the steps. Like, okay, how can we do this, Rock? How
Yeah,
can we
I
put these all
definitely.
up on our
Exactly.
house?
I got to do the same thing. Try to figure out how I can do this at home and turn the lights just the right way.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And put caps on them, cover them in tape
Yep.
where you don't want them seen.
And Butch, give me your staple gun.
Yeah, we need your
We need
I
that.
gotta buy
We saw
one.
him doing it in the park.
I need an electric one. I don't know if I could do that 8 to 10 hours a day. That's a lot. That's a lot of work goes into just getting this ready. But as you also seen, some of these lights will be used for pumpkin illuminates. So that's a great plus. He said they're programmable, Bluetooth. They can change them up as they need to. So you never know what you're going to see when you come here. You never know what configuration, what colors, how they're going to look. So I don't know about y'all, but I am ready to see it.
Yeah, so are we. Smoky Mountain Christmas can't come soon enough.
Yep. So with that being said, we're gonna get on out of here. Now, if you ain't subscribed to this channel, you better get on down there and do it. While you're down there, check in the description. Link to Adventures That Rock is down there. Y'all subscribe to them, show them some love, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
That is amazing. I don't. Okay, you ready?
I'm like, hi.